I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I don't get views on weeks that I don't post. So I need some videos that don't take as long so I can try to drum up some interest in my channel while I work with stuff I actually care about. So I figured, hey, Iceberg charts are cool, let's do one of them, and that's what I'm doing. This is the DC Comics Iceberg, as made by Reddit user Rachel Ghoul's Bath Salts. The link to this, along with any other sources I use, is in the description. Layer 1. Casuals. Why doesn't Batman use his money instead of fighting the L? This is a pretty common question from people who don't understand Batman. The short answer is that he does. He's been doing so pretty consistently since the 70s. It's just, rich playboy donates to charity is a much less interesting story than costumed vigilante fights supervillains. Justice for Wally refers to something that Wally West fans say, feeling that the character has been misused by DC. Society refers to Joker's famous line, "We live in a society," as that's a common thing he talks about, and, more importantly for the purposes of the Iceberg, it was a line he said in Zack Snyder's Justice League that got memed to all hell, because it first appeared in the trailer, I think. Release the Snyder Cut and restore the Snyderverse are hashtags that pissed off fanboys holding grudges yell. Sorry, that was a bit harsh. More accurately, those are terms that Zack Snyder fans like to throw around, wanting Zack Snyder to be in charge of everything at DC. Martha refers to the infamous scene from Batman v Superman where Clark said Martha and Bruce yelled, "Why did you say that name?" The scene in question got memed upon because the whole premise of Bruce realizes his mom and Clark's mom have the same name, which makes him reconsider killing, is a very stupid concept. Layer 2. Comic Readers. Superboy Prime is an alternate universe version of Superboy created in Crisis on Infinite Earth as a... let me see if I understand this. Okay, so... Superboy Prime was a boy from Earth Prime, a world that is basically our own, but somehow Krypton did exist, meaning that this Clark Kent was still somehow Kryptonian, even though Krypton and Superman are also fictional within the universe of Earth Prime, and oh dear god, this is so confusing. Also, this guy got trapped in a void and was so pissed off that he punched reality, breaking the walls between universes and bringing Jason Todd back to life. Donna Troy's origin refers to how Wonder Girl originally was just a young Wonder Woman, but some writer got really confused and made her a unique character, and I barely understand it myself, but in short, her origin has been needlessly complicated over the years. Killing Joke ending refers to how, in the last few panels of Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, Batman and the Joker are laughing at a joke together, Batman puts his hands on Joker's shoulders, and half the yelling gets louder while half disappears. This has led some people to believe that what happened there was Batman finally snapped and killed the Joker, but it's never been fully confirmed one way or another, leading to a lot of confusion. Nightwing almost died refers to how in the original plan for Crisis on Infinite Earths, Dick Grayson was apparently supposed to die because of Dan Didio. Don't worry, we'll get to him, but others were against it. The Hawk's origin refers to how Hawkman and Hawkgirl have had many different origins over the years due to how they are constantly being reincarnated. Dan Didio, I told you we'd get to him, was the co-publisher of DC until 2020, and he made a lot of unpopular decisions because apparently he doesn't like the idea of legacy characters. "It was me, Barry!" /Zoom posting refers to a weird genre of memes where people will have the reverse Flash saying, "It was me, Barry!" But then what he did was actually something super minor. According to Know Your Meme, the meme originated in 2010 when a 4chan user, of course it would be 4chan, parodied a panel from the comic Flash Rebirth with the text you see on screen now. The meme sorta died over the next 4 years, but in 2020 it got popular again, now mostly as edited via voiceover. New 52 Bad refers to how the reboot event in 2011 was, as you could have guessed, bad. Women in Refrigerators is a website that lists times female characters in comics were hurt just to impact their boyfriends. The name comes from the time Kyle Rayner's girlfriend was shoved in a refrigerator for that exact purpose. Layer 3, Detective Chimp level. Superboy died for Nightwing is a reference to how in the previously mentioned Crisis on Infinite Earths, Connor Kent Superboy died instead of Nightwing. Identity Crisis controversy. Identity Crisis was a 2004 event that was very unpopular for 3 reasons. 1. It killed Sue Dibney. 2. It said the Justice League members had been mind-wiping characters in the past. And 3. It revealed just before her death, Sue was raped by Dr. Light. All good reasons not to like it. Tim Drake's code name is a reference to the fact that Tim Drake's secret identity has been changed a whole bunch. First he was Robin, of course, then he was Red Robin, a pretty stupid name that the New 52 said was always his code name. It wasn't. And then he went to the even stupider Drake, and now I think he's back to Red Robin, but I might be wrong. Atom Smasher's bromance with Black Adam is about how, according to this person, apparently Atom Smasher and Black Adam had this awesome bromance that's been forgotten about recently. The OP also said that with Atom Smasher appearing in the Black Adam movie, it might be coming back soon. It did not come back soon. No Kryptonians Post-Crisis is about how after Crisis on Infinite Earths, DC mandated that Superman actually be the sole survivor of Krypton, and well, we all know how that turned out. No one remembered Young Justice before 2019. There was a short comic event in 2003 called Graduation Day that had very little impact on the wider universe, and the whole team seemed to largely be sidelined until 2019 when the TV show got a 3rd season. Jason Todd's original origin and hair color. Jason Todd's backstory that he was caught stealing tires from the Batmobile is actually his retconned post-crisis backstory. His original backstory goes like this, stop me if you've heard this one. Only child in a family of acrobats, the Flying Todds. Jason's parents were killed by a criminal, leading to Jason being adopted by Batman. Pre-crisis, Jason was just a redheaded Dick Grayson, and that's why it was retconned so heavily out of continuity. Layer 4, Tim Drake level. G5, or Generation 5 as it stood for, was apparently a rumored event that was supposed to be done by Dan Didio and was going to have several of the major heroes replaced by New Generation. The only reason this is here is because OP thinks people are going to forget about it, and yeah, I never heard of it before this, so I think he's right. BMB ruined John Kent is the idea that Brian Michael Bendis ruined John Kent Superboy mostly by aging him up. I don't personally get what all the fuss is about, but then again, I'm not sure I've read anything he was in, so I can't really comment on it. Okay, this is a weird one. Aronofsky's Batman Year 1. Darren Aronofsky was going to be in charge of a Batman Year 1 movie that got cancelled. I can understand why, because apparently he said at one point, "Toss out everything you can imagine about Batman! Everything! We're starting completely new!" And apparently, it was supposed to be a grittier, R-rated take on the character, and according to OP, Bruce was going to lose all of his fortune, and Alfred would be reworked into a mechanic by the name of Little Al. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm glad this was canned. John Byrne's Doom Patrol refers to John Byrne's run on the Doom Patrol that controversially retconned away all the previous continuity. I have no idea why this is here. By this logic, every single comic run ever should be here, and that would be stupid. Zoo Crew is an alternate universe superhero team made up entirely of animals. Justice League Mortal was a cancelled DC movie that was supposed to come out in 2009. Metropolis and Gotham are next to each other is a popular theory that is exactly what it sounds like. I think it's bullshit because Gotham has to be on the East Coast, but Metropolis can't possibly be further east than Chicago because it has to be a day trip within a day trip of Smallville, which is in Kansas very definitively. Layer 5, Vic Sage level. Tarantula and Mirage are a set of characters who have, oh god, I'm not saying this in case I ever get monetized, who have played around with Nightwing without permission. That works. Anyway, they're here because fans believe they haven't been dealt with properly. I love this one. I love this one so much. Jason Todd Slug Monster. What a sentence. is a reference to the time in Nightwing number 122 when Jason, as the name implies, became a giant slug monster and ate someone. God, I love comic books. Spoilers pregnancy refers to how Stephanie Brown got pregnant for a little while, gave the baby up for adoption, and OP finds it strange that this has never really been brought up since. Alternate Death in the Family ending refers to how there was an alternate version of Death in the Family made in case fans voted for Jason to live. One page of it was released in a Batman annual, and fans kind of assumed that's all that was made of it because it was just Batman smiling and saying, "He's alive, thank God!" In 2020, the original inks of an unfinished second page with Jason in a coma were released. 52 done right is something that I fully do not understand because OP described it very poorly, so I'm just gonna read their post directly. 52 done right is a quote from Dan Didio in regard to Countdown to 52. Most people prefer 52 over Countdown to 52 by a lot. The reason I don't understand this, other than the poster not seeming to know what grammar means, is that there is no such thing as Countdown to 52. From what I can tell, there was something called Countdown to Final Crisis immediately following the New 52, and I assume that's what they mean, but neither Countdown to 52 nor something just called 52 exist. Hal Jordan threesome refers to how in the comic Cry for Justice, it was revealed that Hal Jordan had a threesome with Lady Blackhawk and Huntress, and fans didn't like that, so it was later revealed, retconned, that Hal just drunkenly thought it happened and the others let him believe it, and I find that hilarious. Kathy Kane is not Kate Kane. When Kate Kane, the modernized Batwoman, appeared in the New 52, she was planned to be a modernized version of the original 60s Kathy Kane Batwoman, but Grant Morrison changed it so they're two distinct characters. Layer 6. Batman level. JLA live-action pilot refers to a live-action pilot for a Justice League of America TV show that never actually got made. You can probably find it online somewhere. Batman can recognize Nightwing by butt alone is just inaccurate. It was a mistake from the OP. What's actually the case is that the character of a Midnighter was able to know who Dick was just from his glorious cake. John Kent predates 2015 is based on how the idea of Superman and Lois having a child named John Kent actually goes back to Alan Moore's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. I honestly think this one shouldn't be here because the idea of a character existing is not remotely the same thing as the character themselves actually dating back that far. Original Huntress refers to how Helena Wayne is not the first person to hold the title of Huntress, and the mantle was originally used by Paula Brooks, Sportsmaster's wife, who was later retconned into being Tigress. DCU is a joke entry about how DC rebranded to DCU after the New 52, and fans were not pleased, so it was kind of forgotten. Barry should have stayed dead is a sentiment that a lot of people seem to hold that Barry Allen should have stayed dead for any number of reasons. Layer 7. Monitor level. Artemis is not an original character for Young Justice, refers to how a lot of people incorrectly attribute Artemis Croc from Young Justice to having been created for the TV show Young Justice. This is not true. She's existed since the 80s. She was just a fairly minor character. Beast Boy's original transformations. This is about how Beast Boy used to turn into regular animals, normal coloring and everything, but with a green human face tacked on. It was weird. It was really weird. Power Girl's pregnancy refers to how apparently during the comic Zero Hour, Power Girl had a strange mystical pregnancy that was basically never brought up again, and like the thing with spoiler from earlier, it's just the OP putting it in because it's weird and not really brought up. JL8 was a very, very strange webcomic about JLA characters as 8-year-olds, but it was cancelled because the creator was revealed to have been, I I really can't say this. Sending women photos of his unnamed region without being asked. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, you're too damn young to be watching my content. Oracle controversy refers to how in the New 52, Barbara Gordon was retconned into no longer being disabled and resumed the mantle of Batgirl, which was not well received, and for a bunch of reasons, including that two other people had already taken up the mantle, and her going back to it erased Cassie Kane and Stephanie Brown from having ever existed. Layer 8, Perpetual Level. The Joker should never be killed is a comment on how in universes where the Joker is killed, such as Injustice and The Batman Who Laughs, something far worse tends to come. I think OP is forgetting that in Injustice, the problem wasn't really that the Joker was killed, the problem was that Superman did the killing, and in The Batman Who Laughs, the problem was that Batman got filled with a concentrated form of Joker venom, leading to him going insane. In neither case was the Joker getting killed inherently the problem. I Am Not Starfire was a graphic novel published in 2021, a few months after this Iceberg was made, about Starfire's edgy, overweight daughter who believes herself to be the opposite of Starfire. It was announced well before this was made, got a lot of varied reactions, and it was kinda memed upon, but then it was forgotten in the time between announcement and release, which is why it's this far down. Never Date Kyle Rayner refers to how many characters who've dated Kyle, such as Alexandra DeWitt, Jade, and Donna Troy, have died. Earth 8 is apparently the Earth that Kyle Rayner, Helena Bertinelli, and Breach would have been born out if Crisis had never happened. Bette Kane is originally from Earth 2, refers to a continuity error from Infinite Crisis where she was, quote-unquote, returned to Earth 2, despite having been from Earth 1 since the beginning. Layer 9, Omniverse Level. 90s Supergirl is still trapped in hell refers to how Linda Danvers, the 90s Supergirl, was sent to hell, and, with old canon being restored recently, it's entirely possible she is still there. The Lords of Chaos and Order are connected to the emotional spectrum. Okay, this one makes no sense to me, and it's such a complicated one that I'm just gonna read the post pretty much verbatim. During Blackest Night, the character of Dove was mysteriously able to destroy Black Lanterns, and this hasn't been fully explained. Since Dove gets her power from the Lord of Order, it is assumed that the Lords of Order and Chaos are somehow connected to the emotional spectrum. I'm assuming that the emotional spectrum is what the Lanterns get their power from, because otherwise, what else would it be? Gotham City Imposters is canon to the main universe. Gotham City Imposters was a game with tie-in comics in the main detective line. That means that it can be assumed that the game was set in the main universe while most other DC video games are not. This is a weird one. Layer 10, Grant Morrison Level. Every comic is personalized. This one is stupid. It was yet another joke entry, this one being a play on how apparently a lot of Iceberg charts have some entry that's every blank is personalized. This is a very unsatisfying end, so I'm just gonna add in a bonus one. This last one comes from another post I have linked in the description, this one from the user Royale Tenenbaum. I probably butchered that name. Superman was replaced by Sand Doppelganger refers to a comic from 1988 that got shelved and wasn't released until a week before The Death of Superman was published, and when it came out, it was considered to be non-canon, but when it was written, it wasn't supposed to be. A perfect clone of Superman was made entirely out of sand, because comics, and Superman beat it by grabbing it, causing a huge, mostly off-screen explosion, and according to the Bleeding Cool post I'm getting this from, becoming the Sand Creature. There are several more instances after this that seem to suggest the Sand clone actually replaced Superman in the stories between 88 and 92. I am just now realizing I forgot to write an outro. So, I am going to improv this. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to lick one of these videos I have on screen right now, but please actually don't, because that would be very gross, and B, that would probably mess up your device, so just watch one of these videos on screen right now. See ya!